Welcome back. Today we are going to do orange flavored tofu. And it's going to be crispy and it's going to be spicy. So let's get started. So the tofu needs to be pressed and drained. And for those of you who remember my talk about tofu previously, tofu is really just a vegetarian cheese. It's made the same way that mozzarella is made, except it's made with soy milk instead of cow's milk. And we made this extra firm, actually extra firm, by taking extra firm tofu, freezing it, and draining it. And that makes it very crispy and really firm. So what we'll do is we'll slice this into bite-sized pieces. And we will press this between two plates. There's our tofu. There we go. And that freezing really compresses the protein, the tofu. There we go. And then we'll just put a paper towel on top of that. And we'll put a heavy weight on that. And if we're in a hurry, we can just press down on it. And you'll see very quickly that the paper towel gets pretty wet. So we'll just do that for now. And let's talk a little bit about our vegetables. This dish is perfect for if you have some leftover vegetables and you're wondering what to do with them. So we're going to start, we have some Brussels sprouts, and I've simply cut off the stem and cut them in half. And we've got some mushrooms, which is a great source of that umami flavor. And we're going to cut these into bite-sized pieces. Just like that. I usually will slice a piece off the cap, cut the stem in half, and then the cap. This one here looks like it already got sliced. So there we go. And you can wash mushrooms. That's a misconception that if you wash mushrooms they get mushy. That's not accurate. We have some green beans. I've taken the stems off, and we'll just slice those into bite-sized pieces. So those will be ready. All right. And we have some carrots. We're remembering to roll cut the carrots. We simply go at a 45-degree angle, give it a quarter of a turn, and slice just like that. What's nice about this is even though the carrot gets skinnier at one end, you can adjust your distance and your angle so that all of the pieces are pretty much a uniform size. Let me just take that tip off there. All right. And we'll be using some fresh garlic chives from our garden. We'll cut those up in a minute or two. And our spiciness is going to come from jalapeno peppers today. They're not super hot, but they'll wake you up. And what I've done is I've taken the core out and the seeds, and I basically just cut them into probably, what is that, like 1/2-inch pieces. There we go. All right. let's take a look at our tofu. It should be pretty well drained. And what we're going to do is we're going to coat our tofu with some flour. Now you can use cornstarch, you can use potato flour. We're going to use some cake flour that we had in the cupboard for this. This is about 2 tablespoons of flour, and we'll just give that a shake so that it's all nice and coated. So what we want to do is brown this, slightly brown this. So I've got my wok heated up here. I got a nice cast iron wok. I'm going to use some avocado oil, a couple tablespoons, right up around the sides there. There we go. Get carried away there. All right. And we'll turn that down a little so I'm not in any hurry. And we'll just put these guys right in the oil. So this is shallow frying as opposed to deep frying. And as I put these in, you'll see they'll sizzle right up. And they're really nicely coated with that cornstarch. Whoops, I mean not cornstarch this time around. This is just the cake flour. You know, if you have just regular all-purpose flour, that's okay too. So we're not going to stir fry this quite yet. We're just going to shallow fry it. What's nice about shallow frying is that you can, the coating is held against the tofu or whatever else you're shallow frying by the sides of or the bottom of the pan. So you're, unlike when you deep fry, you know, it's floating. And so there's really nothing to hold that to it. There we go. So we'll let that, this is like on medium. This is not super hot. We're not smoking it here. There we go. And while that's happening, let's get some other ingredients ready. So this is orange flavored, so this is going to be fun. What I've done is I've used a grater, and I've just grated the orange rind off. But I'm not getting the white part. The white part underneath the orange is really bitter. So we're just going to get the orange part right here. There we go. That's about a tablespoon there. But you know, if you have a big orange, I would say use the whole thing. All right. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half, and I'm going to juice this orange. So there's the orange there. And let me move my Brussels sprouts. And before I juice this orange, let's turn these guys. So you're going to see that they're lightly browned, which is nice. So these will be nice and crispy. So that's what you want. Nice golden brown. All right, we'll let that continue. And we will go back to our orange. So let's get this orange juice in here. Go. Some more juice. That's a couple tablespoons of orange juice. There we go. All right. So we're just about ready to start cooking here. So let's turn this up. Turn this up as well. And let me give this a stir. All right, so we want to put these vegetables in the order that we want them to cook. So we definitely like our Brussels sprouts caramelized. So we're going to put those in first. Whoa, it's getting away. I forget how much space the tofu takes up. All right. So, while those are, they're starting to brown a little bit already, which is great. So while those are browning up, what we'll do is we will prepare some of our flavoring, our aromatics. So we're going to take some ginger and some garlic. So let's take our ginger here. Put about a tablespoon of ginger. There we go. And we'll just slice this right across the grain, just like that. And make a lot of noise here. That woke them up. There. And we'll just mince that up a little. Put that right in. Let's give that a stir. Yeah, see these Brussels sprouts? See how they're starting to char a little bit? That's what we like. So what we'll do now is let's put in some carrots. We'll soften our carrots up a little bit. Put those in. So stir frying is a relatively dry process. You don't want to add a lot more liquid at this point. We save the liquid for the end. You can see our tofu is pretty crispy now. A lot of people say they don't like tofu because of its texture. So doing it this way really kind of changes that texture a lot. All right. So our next veggie that we'll put in will be our green beans. And we're going to let those char up a little bit. And let's get our fresh garlic. Oops, not in there. So before I do that, I'm going to put in my mushrooms. Mushrooms have a fair amount of moisture. All right, so here's our garlic. Garlic, and I'm going to put in our peppers now, and just to be safe I am going to turn on the fan so we don't smoke ourselves out. There we go. All right. So now for the orange. So we're just about done with the cooking here, the stir frying. So that's when we start to add our liquid. So actually I'm going to put in my orange zest and my orange flavoring. So that starts to kind of steam things up, but everything is pretty much stir fried now. And I'm going to add a little bit of sweetness to this. So let's put in some honey. And that forms a nice glaze. You can also use maple syrup, which is nice. And we'll add a little, just a touch of, this is sesame oil, just like a teaspoon, not a lot. If you want a little bit of salt, a tablespoon of soy sauce. And for our garnish, we're going to use our fresh garlic chives. These are right out of the garden. Slice these at a diagonal into 1/2-inch pieces. We'll add some nice color. In a few weeks we'll have garlic scapes. We'll cook with those. Those will be good. Alright, so let's put these guys in. We'll turn off the heat and let's give it a stir. There, you have it. So Well, let's have a taste. Let's get some rice. Prepared that in advance. See. There we go. All right. Let's try our tofu. Very orangey. A little spicy. Carrot. Still crunchy. Mmm. Hot. So there you have it. Some crispy orange flavored tofu with veggies. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.